Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to English for All, the podcast where we turn everyday situations into real English practice. I'm Roxy.
And I'm John. We are genuinely thrilled you decided to spend some time with us today.
So, today's topic? I have a feeling a lot of you have been waiting for this one.
We are talking about work, the office, the job, the 9 to 5.
Or the 8 to 6, depending on your boss.
Right. Look, whether you work in an office, a hospital, a school, a restaurant, or from your kitchen table in your pajamas,
No judgment here, by the way.
absolutely zero judgment. You are going to need to talk about your job in English at some point, and that moment can feel intimidating.
Super intimidating. You know that feeling when someone asks, "So, what do you do?" And suddenly your brain just goes blank?
Complete silence, like someone turned off the lights.
We've all been there, and that's exactly why we made this episode. By the end of today, you are going to have the vocabulary, the phrases, and the confidence to talk about your job naturally, in English.
We're going to cover everything: your job title, your responsibilities, your workplace relationships, meetings, deadlines, the works.
And we'll do it through real conversations, real examples, and a lot of fun. So if you're enjoying this already, hit subscribe. It really does help us keep making content like this for you.
All right, let's clock in, shall we?
Let's go!
Okay, so the very first thing that happens when you meet someone new, professionally or socially, is they ask you, "What do you do?"
4 words. Such a simple question. And yet, it can feel like the hardest question in the world when you're speaking in a second language.
Because you suddenly have to think about, what's the word for my job in English? How do I explain what my company does? What sector am I in?
So let's break it down step by step. First, your job title. A job title is the official name of your position. For example, I'm a software engineer. I'm a marketing manager. I'm a nurse. I'm a sales representative.
And if you want to sound more natural, you add where you work. I'm a software engineer at a tech startup. I'm a marketing manager at a fashion brand.
Now, here's something a lot of learners forget. You can also explain what you do rather than just what you're called. And honestly, that's sometimes even better.
Exactly. So instead of just saying, I'm an accountant, you could say, I work in finance. I manage the accounts for a mid-sized company.
That gives people so much more context, and it shows you can communicate professionally.
Let's look at some key vocabulary for this section. The word sector. That means the area of the economy you work in. Healthcare, education, finance, technology, retail, hospitality.
Then we have industry, very similar to sector, but often used for more specific fields. I work in the automotive industry. I work in the fashion industry.
And field. You'll hear this a lot too. What field are you in? It's a softer, more conversational way to ask about your professional area.
Let's hear how all of this sounds in a real conversation. Imagine John and I are at a professional networking event. We've never met before. Hi there. I don't think we've met. I'm Roxy.
John, nice to meet you. Are you enjoying the event?
Honestly, the coffee is the best part. So, what do you do, John?
I'm a project manager at a construction firm. Basically, I coordinate teams and make sure projects are delivered on time and within budget. What about you?
I work in digital marketing. I run campaigns for e-commerce brands, mostly social media and email marketing.
Oh, interesting. That field is growing so fast. Have you been in marketing long?
About 6 years now. I started as a content writer and worked my way up. It's been quite a journey.
That's impressive. Do you work for an agency or in-house?
In-house. I'm part of the internal team at a retail company. It's great because we know the brand inside out.
Okay, did you catch some of the key phrases in there?
Let's pull a few out. I coordinate teams. Coordinate means to organize and manage different people or tasks so they all work together.
Delivered on time and within budget. This is a classic phrase in project management. On time means before or at the deadline. Within budget means you didn't spend more money than planned.
Worked my way up. Love this one. It means you started at a lower level and gradually moved to a higher position through hard work and experience.
In-house. This means you work directly for a company, as part of their internal team, as opposed to working for an external agency that serves multiple clients.
And inside out. To know something inside out means to know it extremely well. Every detail, every corner.
These phrases don't just sound professional, they sound human, and that's what makes them so useful.
All right, section 2. And this is where it gets really practical. Because once someone knows your job title, the natural next question is, so what does that actually involve?
What are your responsibilities? Or, even more casually, what does your day look like?
And being able to answer that question fluently, in English, is incredibly valuable. Whether you're in a job interview, talking to a colleague, or just making small talk.
Let's look at some essential verbs for describing what you do at work. These are your action words, and in professional English, they matter a lot.
First one, manage. I manage a team of 12 people. I manage the social media accounts. Managing means you are responsible for something. You oversee it, you make decisions about it.
Then we have handle. I handle customer complaints. I handle the invoicing. Handle is similar to manage, but it often implies dealing with something directly, taking care of it yourself.
Oversee. I oversee the production process. This means you are supervising something. You're watching it, making sure it goes well, but maybe other people are doing the day-to-day work.
Liaise with. This is a beautiful phrase. I liaise with the finance team. It means you communicate and work together with another person or department. It suggests a collaborative, back-and-forth relationship.
Report to. I report to the head of operations. This tells people who your direct supervisor is. It clarifies the hierarchy.
And be responsible for. Very direct, very clear. I'm responsible for quality control. I'm responsible for onboarding new staff.
Onboarding. That's a great word to explain. Onboarding is the process of welcoming and training new employees when they join a company, helping them understand how things work.
Let's put these into a dialogue. I'm going to describe my job to Roxy, and she's going to ask me some follow-up questions.
So, John, you mentioned you're a project manager. Can you tell me a bit more about what that actually involves day to day?
Sure. So essentially, I oversee multiple construction projects at the same time. Each project has its own team, architects, engineers, contractors, and I'm the one making sure everything is running to schedule.
That sounds like a lot of moving parts. Do you manage all of those teams directly?
Not always. I liaise with the team leaders, and they handle their own staff. But if there's a problem, a delay, a budget issue, I'm the one who needs to step in and find a solution.
And who do you report to?
I report to the operations director. We have a weekly check-in where I update her on the progress of each project.
What's the most challenging part of your role?
Honestly, managing expectations. Clients always want things faster and cheaper, and you have to be very diplomatic about explaining what's realistic.
I can imagine. Do you ever get to work on the creative side of things, or is it mostly logistics?
Mostly logistics, but I do sit in on the initial planning meetings. That's actually my favorite part, seeing a project go from an idea on paper to an actual building.
I love that dialogue because it sounds like a real conversation, not a textbook exercise.
Let's highlight a couple more phrases from that exchange. Running to schedule. This means everything is happening on time according to the plan.
Step in. To step in means to get involved. usually to solve a problem or take control of a situation that needs attention.
Managing expectations. This is such a key professional phrase. It means communicating clearly with someone, often a client or a boss, about what is and isn't possible, so they aren't disappointed later.
Diplomatic. Being diplomatic means being tactful and careful with your words, especially in difficult or sensitive situations. You're honest, but you're kind about it.
Sit in on. To sit in on a meeting means to attend it, often as an observer or a secondary participant, rather than the main organizer.
These are exactly the kinds of phrases that take you from sounding functional to sounding fluent.
Okay, section 3. And I know a lot of you have been waiting for this one, because one of the most stressful parts of working in English, meetings.
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's a video call, a conference room with 10 people staring at you, or even just a one-on-one with your manager, communicating in meetings in English takes a specific set of skills.
And the good news is, it's very learnable. There are phrases that come up again and again, and once you know them, you'll feel so much more comfortable.
Let's start with some key meeting vocabulary.
Agenda. The agenda is the list of topics that will be discussed in a meeting. Before a meeting, someone usually sends out an agenda so everyone can prepare. Can you send me the agenda for tomorrow's meeting?
Chair. To chair a meeting means to lead it. The person who chairs the meeting keeps things on track, introduces topics, and manages the time. Sarah will chair this week's team meeting.
Minutes. The minutes of a meeting are the official written notes. They record what was discussed and what decisions were made. Can someone take the minutes today?
Action points. At the end of a meeting, you often have action points. These are the specific tasks that people have agreed to do before the next meeting. Let's just go over the action points before we wrap up.
Follow up. To follow up means to check on something after the meeting. I'll follow up with the client tomorrow. Or, can you follow up on that proposal?
Touch base. This is a lovely casual phrase. Let's touch base later this week. It means to make brief contact with someone to check in or share a quick update.
And loop someone in. Can you loop me in on that email thread? It means to include someone in a conversation or communication so they are aware of what's happening.
Let's do a dialogue. This time, it's a team meeting just wrapping up.
Okay, I think we've covered everything on the agenda. Before we close, let's quickly go over the action points. Roxy, you're going to finalize the budget proposal by Thursday. Is that still doable?
Yes, absolutely. I just need the updated figures from finance. Can you loop them in and ask them to send those over?
Of course. I'll send them an email straight after this. Anyone else have anything to add before we finish?
Just a quick one. I think we should schedule a follow-up call with the client next week. They were asking about the timeline last Friday, and I said I'd get back to them.
Good point. Let's say Wednesday afternoon. I'll send a calendar invite. Does that work for everyone?
Works for me.
Perfect. I'll circulate the minutes later today. Thanks, everyone. Good meeting.
That felt so real, right? Short, efficient, professional.
Let's pull out a few more phrases. Is that still doable? Doable means achievable, possible. It's a great informal but professional word. Is that doable by Friday? That's definitely doable.
Get back to them. To get back to someone means to respond to them after a delay. I'll get back to you by end of day. She said she'd get back to us with a decision.
Circulate the minutes. To circulate something means to send it around to everyone in the group. I'll circulate the notes. Can you circulate the report before the meeting?
Calendar invite. In modern workplaces, especially with remote work, this is everywhere. It's a digital meeting request sent through tools like Google Calendar or Outlook.
Now, a quick word about emails because they deserve their own moment.
Email communication in English has its own culture. There are phrases that are almost universal in professional emails, and knowing them makes a huge difference.
I hope this email finds you well. Classic opening. A little formal, but very widely used.
Please find attached. Used when you're sending a document. Please find attached the report you requested.
I wanted to follow up on my previous email. When you haven't received a reply and you're checking in politely.
Could you please advise? A polite way to ask for guidance or a decision. It sounds professional without being aggressive.
Looking forward to hearing from you. A warm, standard closing before your sign off.
And best regards or kind regards, the most common professional sign-offs. Avoid cheers in formal contexts. Save that for colleagues you know well.
All right, section 4. And this one's important because work isn't always smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing. That means everything is going easily, without problems. And yes, sometimes work is the opposite of that.
There are deadlines, there are difficult colleagues, there are misunderstandings. And being able to talk about those challenges in English professionally and confidently is a real skill.
Let's look at some language for talking about pressure and problems.
Deadline. You probably know this one. A deadline is the date or time by which something must be completed. The deadline for this report is Monday morning.
Overwhelmed. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed this week. It means you have too much to do and you're struggling to cope. It's honest, it's human, and knowing how to express it in English matters.
Workload. The amount of work you have. My workload has really increased lately. Or, we need to discuss the workload distribution across the team.
Bottleneck. A bottleneck is a point in a process where things slow down because of a problem or a lack of resources. The bottleneck is in the approval process. It takes 2 weeks to get a decision.
Raise a concern. This is how you politely flag a problem. I'd like to raise a concern about the timeline. It sounds professional and constructive, not complainy.
And push back. To push back means to disagree with something or to say, I don't think this is the right approach. It's assertive but professional. She pushed back on the idea during the meeting.
Let's hear all of this in context. This dialogue is between two colleagues. They're catching up over lunch and talking honestly about how work is going.
So, how's the new project going? You looked a bit stressed in this morning's meeting.
Honestly, I'm really struggling with the workload right now. We lost one team member last month and nobody replaced them, so the rest of us are just absorbing the extra work.
That's not sustainable. Have you raised it with your manager?
I tried last week. She acknowledged it was an issue, but said the budget for a new hire is frozen until Q3.
So you're just expected to manage?
Apparently. And the deadline for the final deliverable is end of next month, which honestly feels unrealistic given where we are right now.
I think you need to push back on that. Not in an aggressive way, but put it in writing. Show the data, show the timeline, and make clear that something has to give.
You're right. I've been trying to keep everything moving, but I think I need to have a proper conversation about either extending the deadline or reducing the scope of the project.
Exactly. And document everything. If things go wrong, you want a paper trail showing you flagged the risks early.
That's really good advice. I think I've just been too deep in the day-to-day to step back and think strategically.
That dialogue had so much real language in it. Let's unpack a few more phrases.
Not sustainable. This means something cannot continue the way it is. This pace is not sustainable. It's a very professional way to flag a serious problem without being dramatic.
Something has to give. I love this expression. It means that in the current situation, something must change. You can't keep all the balls in the air. Something will have to be adjusted.
Reduce the scope. Scope refers to the size, range, and goals of a project. Reducing the scope means doing less, cutting some elements to make the project more manageable.
Paper trail. A paper trail is a record of communications, emails, messages, documents that prove what was said or decided. Very important in professional life.
Flag the risks. To flag something means to highlight it, to draw attention to it. I flagged this issue 3 weeks ago. It's proactive and professional language.
And too deep in the day-to-day. This means so busy with the immediate tasks that you can't think about the bigger picture. It's a very relatable feeling.
Step back and think strategically, taking time to look at the big picture instead of just reacting to what's in front of you.
Okay, we're in the home stretch now. Section 5 is all about the future. Career development, ambitions, growth.
Because one of the most common interview questions and one of the most common conversational topics in professional settings is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
And even outside of interviews, people ask about your goals, your plans, what you're working towards.
So let's build some vocabulary around career growth and professional development.
Promotion. Moving up to a higher position within a company. She was promoted to senior manager last year. Or, I'm hoping for a promotion at my next performance review.
Performance review, also called an appraisal. This is a formal meeting, usually once or twice a year, where your manager evaluates your work and gives you feedback.
Skill set. The combination of skills and abilities you have. I'm trying to expand my skill set by learning data analysis. Or, this role requires a very specific skill set.
Upskill. This means to learn new skills or improve existing ones to stay relevant in your field. The company is encouraging staff to upskill in digital tools.
Transferable skills. Skills that are useful across different jobs and industries. Things like communication, problem solving, leadership, and time management. Even though I'm changing industries, I have a lot of transferable skills.
Network. As a verb, to network means to build professional relationships. I try to network at industry events. As a noun, my professional network has been really valuable in finding opportunities.
And pivot. To make a significant change in your career direction. She pivoted from teaching into UX design. It's a trendy word, but a very useful one.
Let's do one final dialogue. This one is a job interview, one of the most important moments where you need professional English.
So, you've been in your current role for 3 years. What's prompting you to look for something new?
That's a great question. I've genuinely enjoyed my time there and I've learned a lot, especially around stakeholder management and cross-functional collaboration. But I feel like I've reached a ceiling in terms of progression, and I'm looking for a role where I can take on more strategic responsibility.
I see. And what does that look like for you specifically?
Ideally, I'd like to move into a position where I'm leading a team and contributing to high-level decision-making, rather than just executing tasks. I want to be in the room where strategy is shaped.
That makes sense. You mentioned cross-functional collaboration. Can you give me a concrete example of how you've done that in your current role?
Absolutely. Last year, we launched a new product line, and I was the main point of contact between the marketing, supply chain, and finance teams. I organized weekly syncs, managed the shared timeline, and made sure everyone had what they needed to hit their targets. It was challenging at times, but we delivered on schedule and under budget.
Impressive. And where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
My goal is to be in a senior leadership position, managing a department and helping shape the company's direction. I'm also committed to continuing to develop professionally. I'm currently completing a course in data-driven decision-making because I think that skill set is going to be increasingly important in any senior role.
That's really encouraging to hear. We value people who take ownership of their development. One last question. What's your greatest professional challenge to date, and what did you learn from it?
I'd say it was navigating a major restructure at my previous company. A lot of uncertainty, team morale was low, and I had to keep my team motivated while managing my own anxiety about the changes. I learned the importance of transparent communication, being honest with people even when you don't have all the answers. It made me a much more empathetic leader.
Wow, that's a strong interview. Let's pull out the key phrases.
Reached a ceiling. This is a really natural way to say you've hit a limit in your current role. There's no more room to grow where you are.
Cross-functional collaboration. Working with people from different departments or teams within the same company. A very valuable and very frequently mentioned skill.
Syncs, short for synchronization meetings. Quick, regular check-ins with a team. We have daily syncs at 9 a.m. It's very common in tech and project management environments.
Hit their targets. To hit a target means to achieve a goal. We hit our sales targets this quarter. Very natural in business English.
Take ownership. To take ownership of something means to be fully responsible for it. Not just doing it, but caring about it, following it through, and being accountable for the outcome.
Transparent communication. Being open and honest in how you communicate. Not hiding information, not sugarcoating things, just being clear and direct.
Empathetic. Having empathy means understanding and sharing the feelings of others. An empathetic leader listens, considers people's emotions, and responds with care.
All right, friends, we are wrapping up. And what a journey this episode has been.
We covered so much ground today. Let's do a final walkthrough of everything we explored.
We started with how to introduce yourself professionally, your job title, your sector, your field. And we talked about going beyond just a label to actually describing what you do.
Then we went into daily responsibilities, all those powerful verbs: manage, oversee, liaise with, handle, report to, the building blocks of describing any job.
We tackled meetings and workplace communication, agenda, action points, loop someone in, touch base, follow up. Language that makes you sound at home in any professional environment.
We talked honestly about challenges, deadlines, workload, bottlenecks, pushing back, flagging risks. Because work isn't always perfect, and knowing how to talk about that matters.
And we finished with career development, promotions, skill sets, transferable skills, pivoting, networking, the language of growth and ambition.
And through 5 dialogues, we heard all of this in action. Real conversations, real workplace moments.
Here's what I want you to do this week. Pick one, just one, of the phrases from today and use it in a real email, in a conversation with a colleague, in a message to a friend.
Maybe it's, I'm going to follow up on that. Maybe it's, I'd like to raise a concern. Maybe it's, let's touch base later.
Whichever one feels most useful for your life right now, just use it once and notice how it feels.
Because that's how language becomes yours, not by memorizing lists, but by using words in real moments.
Now, our community question for this week. We would absolutely love to hear from you.
Tell us in the comments, what do you do for a living? And what's the one thing you wish you could say more confidently in English at work?
We read every single comment, and sometimes we build entire episodes around what you tell us, so your answer genuinely matters.
If today's episode was useful for you, and I think it was, please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave us a review if you're listening on a podcast platform, and share this episode with someone who's learning English.
You might just change their day or their career.
That's it from us today. Thank you for showing up, for listening, and for putting in the work. Learning a language takes courage, and you've got plenty of it.
Until next time, keep talking, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care.
Take care.